What is going down, Sourdough Squad? This is our first. Typically, we have Victory Mondays, but today we have a Victory Saturday. And oh boy, smell that? It smells like sweet, sweet victory. As you guys already know, the San Francisco 49ers took down the Green Bay Packers last night 28-21. You got to see Trey Lance, you got to see Nate Sudfeld, you got to see Brock Purdy, you got to see all three of the 49ers quarterbacks and the rest of the San Francisco 49ers, whether it's veterans, whether it's rookies, whether it's newcomers, whether it's guys who've been around, whether it's guys who are stepping up for the first time to get real legitimate playing time. Like, we got to see a little bit of everything last night. So I don't know. I didn't see some of you guys last night. We did a late night. We had the late night gang out last night. We were doing a live until like 12:45 in the morning on the the Pacific Standard Time. So we had a really late night show, but we're coming back to you guys. Still a later show today, even. But I'm excited to vibe out with the SDS. You guys already know the vibes. Drop an SDS in the chat if you're vibing on this Victory Saturday. And you already know, smash that like button if you haven't already. And let's get this thing going. We already had some squad in here hanging out. Want to say what's good to everyone before we get into it all. Shout out Mariah. Shout out all the bread gang in the building. You love to see it. What were some of your guys's? I want to see what your sense is, because I've already talked quite a bit about the game, but we're going to kind of recap it all, maybe even pull up a little film clips here or there. But what's good, Jesus? What were some of your guys' takeaways from the game last night? You got to see Trey Lance hitting Danny Gray for that big touchdown. You got to see Nate Sudfeld hitting Ray McLeod for a touchdown. You got to see Brock Purdy hitting Tanner Hudson for a touchdown. You got to see Marcelino McCrary balling, got an interception. And he was all over the field at that. You had Samuel Womack. Oh boy. What talk about an NFL debut from the 5th round rookie out of Toledo, snagging 2 interceptions, and not just 2 interceptions. Like, you can have the ball thrown to you and it could be, a little bit of a gift wrap situation. But Samuel Womack made 2 absolutely phenomenal plays on the day, came away with 2 interceptions. Samuel Womack seems like a guy that that could be a starter for this team. Shout out all the SDS. You already know the vibe. Cynthia's talking that Trey area. You already know. Don Burr crashed the party last night. We echoed Don Burr's name at like 12:30 at night or 12:30 in the morning, and Don Burr just magically appeared. It was phenomenal. It was probably one of the best things I've ever seen. Shout out Deb, 49ers legend, SDS legend. America first as Niners look dangerous. I think that was one of the biggest takeaways from what we saw last night, whether it's offense, defense, first string, second string, and third string. And we got a lot of vanilla looks yesterday. Like, let's not act like we saw Kyle Shanahan unload the entire clip on the Green Bay Packers. He's a little pea shooter. Like, that's what Kyle did last night. He's out here with like a rubber band gun or like a slingshot. Like, that's the type of, we haven't seen the chopper. He hasn't unloaded the clip yet. But I'm really excited because I think we can all kind of see it's something that I was able to watch at training camp, and of course anyone else who went to training camp you got to see some of the magic, and I'll talk about this a little bit too. My guy says freaked out about the interior offensive line. We'll see. We'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it. Maybe even pull some clips to reference. Womack's a dog. You already know it. Trey Lance is gonna ball out. We got Honolulu Niner fans in the house. We got Island boys all over the place. I like this. Do you agree with Cynthia here? Do you feel like all those people out there on those Twitter streets, do you feel like they were silenced a bit? Do you feel like there was a sense that Trey Lance came out and did enough to quiet the concerns? Again, you've had national reporters, whether it's Colin Cowherd, whether I guess it's new 49ers beat reporter Michael Silver, who now writes for the SF Chronicle. Those guys seemed to really be on the opposite direction of Trey Lance optimism. Um, they were, in fact, almost kind of felt like they were, in a sense, again, these guys are reporters, right? Or one is and one is media, but it did feel like they were, it's a bit rooting on the downfall. I think Trey Lance did enough to kind of quiet some people for a little bit. It's going to be a long years. Don't worry. Trey Lance will definitely have his ups and downs, but it was a great start. It was a great start to the year. Defense looks great, 100%. Womack looked phenomenal. Hufanga out here decapitating people. Hufanga straight up out here taking people's souls on a football field. Like, thank goodness they're playing football, because anywhere else in the United States, and Talanoa Hufanga is going to jail for that hit that he put on that not Chicago Bear, Green Bay Packers defender. I mean, look at this man. Talanoa absolutely obliterated this guy. Look at his face. Look at his face. God, absolutely. That's literally a picture of this man's soul leaving his body. He got back up. He's okay. So we're not making fun of a dead body in reality, but figuratively, 100%. Shout out my guy Justin. Appreciate the super chat. He says, Brad, is it just me or did Jordan Mason's vision stand out yesterday? Jordan Mason's vision is natural. He is a natural at running in the garbage, in the mess. Like, that was one of my favorite things. And again, Jordan Mason ran with the threes. And we saw Donovan West out there. We saw guys like that running with the third team, and they did okay. But it is harder to kind of find holes and things like that behind the third string offensive line. And Jordan Mason literally scratched and clawed for every single inch that is imaginable. And that's what you get. Now, imagine Jordan Mason with some clean running lanes. Imagine Jordan Mason with like an actual some daylight in front of him. I think it would be a nice change of pace. But again, I think Jordan Mason comes ready with NFL quality vision, cutting ability, power, all those things. I think they were all on display. And again, Jordan Mason ran for 6 carries, 30 yards at 5 a clip. That's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. So you really like to see that. I want to see Jordan Mason get some run with the ones. I think he deserves it. Why not? Let's see what he can do. George says, what's going on with our fan base praising the backup quarterbacks instead of the starters? What, are you surprised? George, are you surprised? Are you surprised? I don't know if this is Twitter or not, but are you surprised that people are fawning over Brock Purdy, Nate Sudfeld? Are you surprised? I'm not surprised, especially when, let's face it, Nate Sudfeld came out 8 of 11, 103 yards and a touchdown. Brock Purdy comes in 3 of 6, 36 yards and a tutty. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. But I think it's just funny at this point for anyone who truly does believe that. Now we can objectively take a step back and say I think all three guys had a great day. And you saw this all at training camp. Like you saw Brock Purdy, you saw Nate Sudfeld throwing darts. You saw it. You saw it happening. So again, I like literally Nate. You had Nate Sudfeld come onto the field first play and just deliver a beautiful ball to what's his name, to Ray McCloud. It was very nice to see. Let me see if this works. Oh, it does work. Oh my goodness, it's been a while. Normally it doesn't let me get this done. So we can even talk about it a little bit. Let's watch good old Nasty Nate. Let's watch Nasty Nate. First play, steps in, back foot, plant, launch, in stride. Beautiful. Oh boy. You like it. You saw this all I saw this all training camp. Sudfeld darts, baby. We saw Sudfeld darts all training camp. Let's watch Ray though. Can we watch Ray a little bit? So you got Ray. I don't know if you can see my screen. You got Ray down here a little bit. You see that? Oh, George got another super chat. Let's see what you got, George. Appreciate the super chats, George. He says the kid is gifted. I'm surprised nobody else can see that, but it's just ridiculous. People need to open their eyes and see what he can do. And I imagine you're talking about Trey Lance, and we'll get into Trey Lance right after this and see what George can do. But look at Ray McCloud, man. Look at him cook. He's out here. Oh, I gotta get myself out of the screen. Hold on one second. All right, I gotta get myself out of the way. George, we're blocking Ray cooking out here. Let me get our stuff out of the way. Let's watch Ray cook. And then we'll watch Trey Lance to Danny Gray. But let me get this out the way just so we can see a little bit better. There we go. So watch this little action right here. What does Ray do? So you like this little route subtlety here. So he comes off the break pretty straight. You have soft coverage on the play. Goes immediately into bail technique, and you see the stem right here. See the stem to the outside? Just that subtle stem. And this is where you start to see the smarts of a route runner. So Ray McCloud knows that the second that this guy goes to turn his head and flip it, so see the action that he is flipping his head right here by the DB. See when his eyes go like straight. That is when Ray McCloud sticks his foot in the ground right here and cuts to the inside. And then by the time this guy gets his head around to the opposite direction, Ray McCloud got this duty in turf. Look at that, man. This is masterclass route running. This is just being a veteran and having route savvy, route manipulation, understanding what the DB is doing and using it against him, and just absolutely cooks the dude to the ground for a touchdown. You love to see it. Let's watch it in full speed. Then we'll watch a little Trey Lance. Why not? We'll watch. I think you guys want to see some Trey Lance, right? And we'll watch some offensive line. Why not? I haven't done a full study yet, so I'll be honest with you. I'm not like, I don't got my notes. I don't got that stuff. We're just going to watch it, and we're going to see what happens in real time. But this was a really good play all around. Great throw, great catch. You love to see it. Love to see it. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man. If you guys missed it yesterday, Justin, SDS member, Gave away 2 tickets, and our guy, Jesus, won the tickets and got to meet Jesus and his brother yesterday. They came and found me, and it was really good to see. But again, that was all courtesy of Justin, for giving away those 2 tickets, man. Really, really awesome. So we'll definitely link Justin for sure. For sure, for sure. I know you had your family out there. We were out there doing all our stuff, but it was good to link with some SDS members yesterday. It was pretty fun, man. It really was. But one of the things that again George was talking about up here was talking about Trey Lance, saying that the kid is gifted. I'm surprised nobody else can see that, but it's just ridiculous. People need to open their eyes and see what he can do. And you can see a little bit of that here. You're going to see Trey Lance, the play of the day, where he was able to uncork this thing and let it go. Uh, you love to see it. Right on the target, right to Danny Gray for a touchdown. That is 6. And these 2 guys, this is a second-year quarterback throwing to a rookie. Uh, what I really liked about this, and so Baldy did a really good job of breaking this down. And so again, we all know that Kyle Shanahan loves pre-snap motion, baby. Oh, he loves manipulating defenses with these types of motions. And again, you can see with the motion going across the field, it kicks the cornerback out onto the tight end, and then you get the safety on Danny Gray in the slot. These are the matchups that you draw these plays up for. To get one-on-one Danny Gray with a safety, like that's you dream about this type of stuff. So this is how you can see just a simple pre-snap motion manipulate the coverage and ultimately give the 49ers the best look that they want on the play, which is one-on-one coverage. Danny Gray 4-3-3 burner on a safety. You'll want that all day. And you're able to see him walk in for a touchdown. Let's see what the O line looks like. So you're getting the 49ers are sliding protection to our right, their left. If you take a look at Jake Brendel and Aaron Banks, you have 3-on-3. You get a little game up here. So they try to work a game. Jake Brendel, great job of picking up the stunt, passing off to Aaron Banks. Brendel picks it up, clean pocket. Colton McKivitz gets pushed a little bit, but Trey Lance is able to stand strong and deliver a dart. Spencer Burford, number 7, comes up. Not even a problem for Spencer Burford. Spencer Burford probably had one of the better days out of anyone on the field. Spencer Burford did phenomenal. School definitely had a pretty rough day. He got hijacked right there with the long arm, completely off balance. And so you can kind of see School definitely had a tough day. But someone had mentioned earlier I think these are going to be the 3 starters. We heard today Brunskill is dealing with a bit of a hamstring injury, which is interesting because Brunskill was out there in uniform warming up before the game. So I don't know if somehow Brunskill tweaked his hamstring in warmups or what that was, but it does look like Brunskill will be out for almost the remainder of the preseason. So this looks like minus Colton McKivitz and Justin School. These 3 interior offensive linemen are guys that you're going to have to get used to. It's going to be Aaron Banks, it's going to be Jake Brendel, and it's going to be Spencer Burford. But again, look at Banks here. You get a little of that nastiness. Yeah, let's go. Look at these guys punching, clawing. You love to see it. You love to see it. George says number 67 needs to get cut. He's getting dominated. You could kind of sense that in camp that I don't know if School really was performing at a high enough level to make the roster. Again, you're going to have Trent Williams, Mike McGlinchey. Mike McGlinchey's dealing with a little bit of a knee irritation, so he might not practice against uh, the Minnesota Vikings in joint practices coming up. But at least we're getting good reps from the interior. And then, of course, Danny Gray just showing off his speed. Showing off his speed. You love to see it. But again, just to give you guys a little bit more, I haven't done a true film breakdown on this yet, but these are things that are signs of hope for guys like Jake Brendel. Again, you got a outside shade with a defensive tackle. This is where Jake Brendel has to get his head across on the opposite side shoulder and try to reach block this. So you could see that's pretty good explosion from Jake Brendel, and he gets there. You could also say that the defensive tackle's insanely slow off the snap. I mean, the delayed reaction that this D tackle has is pretty bad. But Jake Brendel still does his part, gets his head across, and starts to work those hips and create that seal, which is exactly what you're looking for. You're trying to get a combo to linebacker right here from Aaron Banks and Colton McKivitz. You get the combo at the point of attack. Again, Colton is going to do the same exact thing. He's going to get his helmet on the outside shoulder. They are going to split the defender, but Banks is going to keep his eyes on this guy the entire time. And Banks could have got here, but shout out Jawan Jennings doing what Jawan does and blocking guys. Actually kind of blocked his guy right into Banks, which kind of impeded Banks's ability to get to the second level and get the linebacker. So that's why you see 58 pop out. It would have been one-on-one with Sermon in 22 regardless. But other than that, it was blocked up pretty nice. You get Hockett coming across formation, taking out this guy. You got Burford and McGlinchey working the same double to backer concept on the backside. So the guys are working out here. The guys are working. And again, I haven't done a full breakdown, so kind of watching this stuff in real time. So this particular play is the second play. You get a little bit of this is where you would see Burford have some struggles at times dealing with the bull rush. You can see he kind of gives ground a little bit, but look at Trey, dude. This is Trey. This is what having a extremely aware quarterback looks like. A guy who has a pocket awareness that is like this is like, I know a lot of people compare, right? Like you hear a lot of, well, if that was Jimmy, right? We hear a lot of that. This one kind of feels like if that was Jimmy, it feels like 93 might have gotten a piece of Jimmy, right? And I don't know, but we've also seen Jimmy escape. So again, it's hard to talk about that hypothetical situation. But it's still, you see the eyes downfield from Trey Lance. He feels the pressure and he's able to duck under 93. And 93 is not able to grab him, and Burford is able to give him a little shove off. And then what I love most about Trey Lance is this. Do you see how he doesn't immediately run? You see how he could run right here, but he doesn't. He resets to throw. That's what I love about Trey Lance. That is what I love about Trey Lance. Like, he is an extremely gifted quarterback when it comes to running the football. Like, he can operate like a running back with the ball in his hands running downfield, but he is constantly looking to throw. He's constantly got eyes up. Look at his head, like how like balanced his head is and the way his hips and shoulders square up before he runs. Like, it's very small. It's a very nuanced thing, but these are the small differences that can really elevate Trey Lance's game to a next level. And we got a slide. Let's go. Let's go, ego. What's good, my guy? My guy says Niner gang. Let's go. You already know. So, one of the benefits of people being kind of afraid of what the interior offensive line can provide is the fact that you have a quarterback that has elite pocket awareness. And like I know I just said elite, but I see a guy in Trey Lance who understands what to do when there's pressure around him, and he feels it and he senses it and he can get out of it. Now, elite might be strong. I think elite might be a little bit premature, but he definitely has intangibles that can be elite when it comes to pocket awareness and pocket mobility. So those are the things that I'm really looking forward to with him. Oh, wake up, honey! Is that a McGlinchey pancake? We got a McGlinchey pancake. I haven't seen this play yet. So you get a nice block down. You're gonna get Aaron Banks pulling. Look at this block down from Big Mike, number 96. Instantly drops 96 to his knees and then folds them. Let's go. Love to see that. Now, obviously, Mike's dealing with a little bit of knee irritation, so we'll see how that continues to progress. But look at that little Mike McGlinchey pancake right there. That's what I'm talking about, Big Mike. Let's go. This one, what are they doing here? It's like a log jam. This is what happens when you don't have Kyle Juszczyk to clear things out. I mean, they get it done for the most part. Shout out Trey Sermon for being patient and working off his hip. They get it done for the most part. You want to see the intersection point is right here where they're trying to run. If Trey could have smashed that hole, I know it's very tiny, but if he could have squeaked through there a little sooner, might have gone through. But hey, that's asking a lot. That's asking a lot. Uh, again, this is fun. I'm just I haven't really done a full breakdown. Again, I'm just kind of looking. Again, it's kind of peeping still. You get a beautiful play action. The play action is, I think, going to be money for the 49ers when it's all said and done. Let's see, what do we get here? Let's see some more run blocking. I don't know. I see what Trey Sermon's doing. I see he senses 99 kind of filling into the A gap right here. So he's going to cut back to B gap. That's not bad read. It's just not totally there. So not super clean. But overall, you got I think Trey Sermon wasn't really here's a Trey Sermon screen. I don't think Trey Sermon looked bad, but I didn't think he looked phenomenal. But I think he still showed promise. I like that they're showing him in the screen game here a little bit. Let's see, what do we got over here? Ooh, look at Spencer, bro. So we're gonna talk about. We're not gonna watch film the whole time. I promise. We're not going to watch film the whole time. I'll do a dedicated film live. But again, I'm just excited. I haven't done the whole film review yet, so we'll do a whole other separate film breakdown. But watch Burford right here at the right gold. Right guard. Look at that, bro. Look at him clear out 93 again. His task is going to be reach step. Let's see what the reach step looks like. See how everyone's feet are somewhat similar. Now, very minuscule, but again, if I'm a coach and we are interested in the small details, I want his step to be a little bit more like School. I think School step is a really good reach step right here, but hey, not a big deal. He's still able to be successful, gets his head across opposite shoulder, and then begins to work. But then he redirects with the punch and just walls him out. Great block by Spencer Burford. Really nice. Let's see what Jake Brendel does. Jake Brendel gets to linebacker. You want to see Jake Brendel kind of be more in control, not get and stay on this block a little bit more. Let's see who gets free over on the left side. You got Banks. Banks does a good job. Look at Banks. Banks does a let's see. We get the reach step, head across. Guy, defensive lineman, he's going against run fits, peeks his head around, but again, it's zone. TDP makes a great cut to get north south. You like to see it. Not bad. Again, not a whole lot here. Not a whole lot to watch on that particular play, but we got to see how everyone works. Again, I'm just kind of jumping around at this point. I want to see a couple things as the day progresses. Ooh, what's this? Oh, here we go. We got a stunt. Burford picking up a stunt. Good stunt pickup. Nice work. Almost got a little bit overcommitted right here, but he's able to come back, peel off, get his guy. All right. You love to see it. All right. We'll come back. We'll do full film breakdown. That was a little taste. A little impromptu film breakdown. When I do the full study, I'll pull all the good clips and we'll be able to break down a lot of guys. So just a little taste. What are some other things that you guys want to talk about on the day? I think we can talk about this team from a high level overview. We can drill down. We can get more specific about the certain players that we liked in certain situations. I'm really excited about. Again, I feel like Danny Gray and Ray McCloud proved that they've got depth. Oh yeah, baby, we're back. We're back. Even King Geo wants the film. Even King Geo wants more film. Well, guess what? I just dangled a little carrot. You're gonna have to tune back. You're gonna have to come back for more. But I want to make sure that I get all my notes in order, and we'll do the film breakdown real nice. I promise. But I'm excited about it. I think the 49ers, again, prove they have depth at wide receiver. They've got depth at running back. They got depth at quarterback. Tight ends. Tanner Hudson's been making some plays, man, all throughout training camp. So I'm not surprised to see him make plays again. So we'll see. We'll see what the tight end room is going to look like. We'll see if it's going to be Kittle, Dwelly, Warner. Kittle, Warner, Hudson, Kittle, Warner, Croft, Kittle, Dwelly, Croft. We'll see. We'll see what the tight end room ultimately looks like. But Jacob says we're going to have a lot of great film this season. It's going to be a fun year. Like if you like nerding out with some football and just kind of watching film cut ups and stuff like that, I agree with Jacob. Like this is going to be a great year because you're going to see Trey Lance. You're going to see the dynamic of his running ability integrated into the offense. You're going to be able to see, like, we got a little glimpse of it. The Danny Gray touchdown was a pre-snap manipulation by pre-snap motion. So, and it was a simple just pre-snap motion. Kyle gets crazy intricate with the types of motions and pre-snap motions and alignments that he messes with to get the defenses out of position, and then he attacks the position in which they shift into. Kyle's a masterclass when it comes to all that type of stuff, gaming the games. So if you like that type of stuff, you're going to have fun this year because we're going to see an element to Kyle's offense that, like, I think they did it with RG3, but I think it's going to be a different variation of what RG3 is or was with Washington. Like RG3, like Kyle's talked about it, they still ran the outside zone. A whole lot of the concepts didn't change. They just integrated a whole lot more zone read. I think zone read is going to be in play, but I also believe that you're going to see a lot of still kind of West Coast, prototypical pro style concepts, but with the integration more so of zone read added to it than it felt like with Washington, where it was predominantly built off of zone read concepts. Even though the fundamental blocking and things like that were the same, it felt like everything was predicated off zone read, where they're going to be able to run whatever they want. We got inside back. Love to see it. Uh-oh. Former 49ers linebacker Jonas Griffith got hurt. Hoping it isn't too bad. I love Jonas, man. I was really upset when the 49ers traded him. He turned out to be their starting middle linebacker last year, had a phenomenal year. Was getting ready for a big year this year. So yeah, that sucks, man. That absolutely sucks. Steve-O says we traded our O-line for cornerbacks. So far from what I've seen, now granted, looked like the backup defensive line for the Packers, but so far, in the little kind of limited work that I've looked at, I don't think Brendel is going to be like at a level of what Alex Mack was. So I think, and people were kind of like in and out on Alex Mack. So I don't think he's gonna, and I think Alex Mack had a phenomenal year, but people see a couple plays here or there and they make up their mind. I don't think Jake Brendel is going to be at that level that Alex Mack was playing at. I think he's going to be competent based on what I've seen already. He doesn't look like he's going to put himself in a bad position. He's going to put himself in position and where he needs to be. It's just I think my biggest concerns with Jake Brendel's on second level. We saw a little bit of that. It's just you got to get to second level in the scheme, and you got to be able to maintain blocks on the second level. You can't get thrown to the side by linebackers or safety. When you get to the second level, you have to get there quick. But because you get there quick, you have to maintain the block a little bit longer. So we'll see, but that is also something that, we're working on very limited sample size. So that could be something that's actually not an issue at all, but we'll continue to monitor it and we'll continue to see. I feel much better with Banks and Burford. I'm not going to lie. Like, uh, I see I see things in Banks where I still don't think he's a finished product yet. I still think Banks can get better. And if he gets better, um, I think eventually he could definitely get to a Laken Tomlinson level. I don't think that would be too hard to see. Burford looks pretty damn good already baseline in his first rookie start. So he looks good. I'm not as concerned about the interior offensive line. I'm more concerned about guys like Mike McGlinchey, because if Mike McGlinchey goes down, say what you want about Mike McGlinchey, but you don't want guys out there like School. McKivitz can play well, I think, in spots. But none of these guys are, like I don't know. Like I like McKivitz. I think School's just having a hard time rebounding off the ACL injury. Um, but you look at the roster, Jalen Moore really wasn't inspiring in camp before he got hurt. Um, so you want to have your best tackles out there. You definitely want to have your best tackles out there. For sure. Actually, I didn't see Banks pancake Kinlaw. I actually saw Kinlaw kind of take it to Banks a little bit. In camp. I watched Kinlaw and Banks specifically for I think the last 2 days of camp. You got a lot more Kinlaw and you got Kinlaw and Banks. You had Kinlaw on that side. So I saw a lot of them going back and forth. That actually Kinlaw was given it wasn't like overmatched. I wouldn't say like Kinlaw just absolutely, ragdolled Banks, but he got him a time or two. And you could say Banks got Kinlaw a time or two. So it was pretty good. I we'll see. We'll see. The biggest thing that I think Callie says, can Brendel give us what Weston Richburg can? Weston Richburg was playing at a very high level. Like I'm talking like damn near I can make the argument that Weston Richburg was playing better than what Alex Mack played at last year. Weston Richburg he had a really rough first year with the 49ers, but that second year from Weston Richburg, he was playing really well, and that was a hard loss. I don't think Brendel will be able to play at a Weston Richburg level, um, but we'll see. We'll see what he can do. I think he can be more than serviceable. I don't see a guy who's gonna like dominate. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not gonna dominate opposing defensive tackles. He's gonna leverage block. He's gonna leverage block and do things like that. We'll see. Jordan Mills may make the roster. Jordan Mills may make the roster. One of the things in training camp for Jordan Mills, phenomenal pass blocker. Like really, and he's been a starter in the league for a long time, and he was a really good pass blocker. So someone said, Jay says Kinlaw just doesn't wow me. I can't wait till he makes a play. I'll be honest, I haven't watched the defense. So I can't speak to you in the sense of Kinlaw. Yeah, this game again, keep in mind, this is the first game that Kinlaw has played in a long time. So give him some time. He wasn't like out there running every play in training camp either. He was ramped up late into training camp. Just give him a little time. Let him get his sea legs under him. Then we'll kind of judge him a little bit better after that. But again, I haven't watched him yet. I haven't studied him, so I can't give you a definitive response one or the other about how Kinlaw looked yesterday. But once I do, I will watch it and I'll give you my straight up honest opinion what I think about Kinlaw. The biggest thing with Kinlaw that I keep talking about is I don't need him to fill up the stat sheet. I don't. I need him to occupy 2 offensive linemen. I keep talking about this. I don't need him. Like if he does get tackle for losses, sacks, tackles, PBUs, occasional interception, I doubt he will, but if he racks up the stat sheet, to me, that's house money. What I need from Kinlaw, like if I'm D'Amico Ryans or I'm running a scheme and I'm plopping Javon Kinlaw in the middle of my defense, I want him to occupy 2. I do not. If offensive linemen are able to block Javon Kinlaw one-on-one, then I'm gonna share some concern. If they're just straight up blocking him one-on-one, and they're able to peel to backer, then I'll share the same concern that you have. But if Javon Kinlaw is able to be a force in the sense that these offensive linemen cannot peel to backer and they're forced to just straight up double Kinlaw, and then you allow your linebackers to roam free, that is when the defense could go crazy. Is like if you're able to keep these linebackers clean, if you're able to keep Fred Warner clean, if you're able to keep Azeez Al-Shaair clean, Dre Greenlaw clean, they're not having to fight through offensive linemen getting to second level because Javon Kinlaw is occupying 2. Now that doesn't I talk about it all the time. It doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but if you can occupy 2, that is a win in my book. I'm calling that a dub. He could go 0 tackles. You occupy 2 the entire game, and Fred Warner gets 14 tackles. We're walking over. We're giving Kinlaw a pat on the butt like that. Good old attaboy, like attaboy. Whoop. Like might not show up on the stat sheet, but it could show up on the stat sheet for other guys. And that's part of playing on the interior. You kind of have to be that. You kind of have to give up personal accolades to help the betterment of the team. So if that's what it is, we'll see. But again, like I said, I'll get into the tape. If it's one on one against backup offensive linemen, okay, then we'll have a conversation about it for sure. But if he's occupying double teams and linebackers, Oren Burks had a day, right? So let's say we get into the tape and we find out Oren Burks had a day because Oren Burks is running free because Javon Kinlaw is occupying too. Then we're going to come back onto the stream and we're going to be like, you remember Oren Burks balling? Now I don't know, but something to think about. So we'll see. And again, still getting those sea legs under him. But Oren Burks, man. Speaking of Oren Burks, I'm excited to get in and watch what Oren did. He led the team in tackles against Green Bay with 8 total tackles. Really excited to see what Oren Burks does. Kamoko Toure had a day as well. The defense is legit. Callie says Kevin Givens looked good last night. Kevin Givens has been one of the more underrated players of training camp. He has been literally locked in as the starting defensive tackle all of training camp. And he is not giving up that spot. What I like about Kevin Givens is he has a speed element to him. He's strong enough to win at the point of attack. He's able to hold up offensive linemen in run fits. He's able to extend, look, shed. Not only that, but he can beat you in pass rushing situations. So Kevin Givens is low key going to be, I think we talk about DJ Jones last year. I think that's what Kevin Givens is going to be. I think Kevin Givens is going to be this year's DJ Jones from an impact standpoint. Now, might not win as quickly as DJ Jones is because that was one of the DJ Jones's best attribute is his ability to win fast. Great speed, great power, great first step quickness, able to hit you with the move and put these offensive linemen in a blender. But I do think you get similar skill sets, not mirrored skill sets, but similar from Kevin Givens. So I'm excited about Kevin Givens. Robert Nkemdiche had a play or two on the night. Feels like he could be a guy. Kerry Hyder does feel like he will have a role. Consistently throughout training camp, he kind of played an interior role next to Givens. So sometimes when the starting defensive line would come up, it would be Kevin Givens and it would be Kerry Hyder on the interior. And then you'd have like a Nick Bosa and a Samson Ebukam on the outside. And they just kind of rotated all these guys. So I'm pretty excited about it. I really am. I think the 49ers, their depth got tested early by losing guys like Hassan Ridgeway and Mo Hurst. Both guys that were going to be up there in the pecking order for the interior defensive line rotation. So they're kind of getting tested early, but so far doing a pretty good job. Again, I think one of the bigger takeaways from today is the depth looks good. I know Tarvarius Moore, if we want to talk about things that didn't look so good, Tarvarius Moore getting beat on that slot fade. I think Romeo Dobbs beat him to the corner end zone. That wasn't one of the better, it was like Kyle was able to dial it up and was able to get Danny Gray in one-on-one situation with their safety, and they cooked them. And then Green Bay was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do the same thing to you. Let's see if you can stop it." And they're like, "Well, we're gonna fight fire with fire. We're gonna run the same thing, and we're gonna get Tarvarius Moore in a one-on-one situation, and we're going to cook him to the corner of the end zone." He did. It was almost instantaneous. Now, granted, he's a safety, right? So You don't really it felt like from my vantage point, Tarvarius was kind of in press man coverage, and I don't know if you really want to put Tarvarius more in press man coverage in a slot situation, because he got beat right off the line, got stacked almost immediately, and it was easy pitch and catch for a touchdown to the corner of the end zone. I think it was Romeo Dobbs, who's again a rookie, but he's had a really good camp with the Packers. Carson Strong's former number one wide receiver out of Reno, Nevada. Um, so I imagine Dobbs is going to be a receiver that you're going to hear about. It's not like he's a scrub. But again, you don't want to see that situation a whole lot. Yeah, it wasn't great. Wasn't great. And real talk, Niner talks, telling it like it is. Cover zero, inside leverage, no jam. Literally let him walk free right by him. Got the reroute. Yeah, you're explaining it pretty well. Wasn't great. You would love to see him at least impede Dobbs's release off the line of scrimmage in some sense. Like mess the timing up a little bit at least, but it was we'll see. We'll see how often they plan on using Tarvarius more on wide receivers and press man, kind of least what felt like press man. You didn't see a whole lot of press, but it was for sure man. Um, we'll see how that works out. But again, you don't want Tarvarius more in the slot. You want guys like Samuel Womack in the slot, right? I think we kind of we all came away with that agreement that I think we want Samuel Womack in the slot. Now, the 49ers have been kind of running out Darqueze Dennard, who is a veteran and has a lot of, former first round pick, all that kind of stuff. And it feels like a great fit for the 49ers, but it feels like Samuel Womack is that guy. He is him. Feels like Samuel Womack is him, right? I don't think I'm the only one that's felt that way. Again, I talked about it a ton in training camp. As someone who was in training camp watching the offense, I would come on here almost every day and I would tell you about a play that Samuel Womack made. And that wasn't because I was watching him. It was because he just literally inserted himself into the middle of a play, whether it was stuffing a running back, on an outside zone, whether he was stuffing a screen, whether he was having a PBU. Again, in one of the last move the ball periods of training camp, Trey Lance did a phenomenal job moving the ball downfield, and he got the ball into scoring territory. It would have been the last play of the move the ball period, and Trey Lance tried to fit in the ball to Jawan Jennings, and Samuel Womack said, "Nope, PBU." So we've seen it. We've seen Samuel Womack play extremely well against the 49ers starting offensive line, or excuse me, starting offense. So I'm not surprised to see Samuel Womack have success, but the way that he had success um, should be we should be very happy about that. I mean, I can even let's pull it up. Like, why not? Why not? Because I think this gives me a good look at it. It's not the most, kind of looks like it was shot on a potato a little bit. So bear with me. But why not have some of the visuals, huh? So I think it does look like it was shot on a potato, but we'll see how it works. So this play, let me blow it up. All right. Can we Yeah, this is terrible footage. This definitely isn't the clear footage. Okay, let me try to find more clear footage because that's a disservice. That's a disservice to all of you. Uh, so one of my favorite things about that really nice interception that he had against the sideline was he felt the wide receiver trap the ball on his arm, and you can see in real time him swipe the ball, jar it loose, and then bring it in for a catch. Like it was really nice. I'm trying to see if I could get a better angle of it that doesn't look like it's shot on a darn potato so we can talk. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Non-potato version. We're going to do the non-potato version now.
Right there. And then watch as they.
All right. So watch the ball get trapped against his arm right here. See how he's kind of hanging on around the waist? And he's trying to swat with this hand, but the second the ball gets trapped against the arm that is hooked around this guy's hip, see his hand? See the hand movement? The second the ball gets trapped, you don't see any white glove, right? And then you see the white glove appear. That is him making this movement to jar the ball loose, which he does, and then instantly scoops it. Like this is slow mo, but this is happening literally in milliseconds. The get it free, swipe it in. Like what are we talking about here? This is crazy. Like this is crazy awareness and reaction. Like to feel the ball trapped, swipe it, break it free, and scoop it in literally like less than half a second is insane. Like that you can't teach that. Like you can teach the concept of it. Like you can teach the baseline. Okay, you feel them trap the ball or against you, or they try to bring it in while you got your hand in there, you try to rip it free. Like you could teach that, but it's like the execution here in which he was successful is just like wow. Like wow. That's a 5th round draft pick. That's a rookie right there. Like that is we like that. We like that a lot. So a lot of promise from Samuel Womack. There's a lot of promise all over the place. Again, you had Talanoa Hufanga murdering people. Drake Jackson looked good. Again, Drake Jackson got a little shoulder stinger. He appears to be okay. So 49ers escaped any type of injury there. So that's good. So no injury to Drake Jackson, but you got to see Drake Jackson, his movement ability, his bend, his change of direction. You got to see what Drake Jackson is capable of. You got to see him. He almost got home a couple times on Jordan Love. So it was a promising day, man. That's all I can say. It was a promising day. It wasn't a perfect day. Not everything went exactly as it was drawn up. But I think ultimately we take a step back and we look at the rookie class and we start there. I broke down the rookie class. We went 1 through 5. 49ers hit 1 through 5, at least on the surface right now. To be or 2 through 5, the second round pick, the 2 3s, their 4th and their 5th. They look like they hit, and they look like you're going to potentially get a rotational player in Drake Jackson because obviously the defensive line is so stacked. You're going to get a rotational player who's going to get a lot of carries in TDP. You're going to get a rotational player in a guy like Danny Gray, who clearly shows that he's very talented. You're going to get a starter in Spencer Burford, and you're potentially going to get a starter out of Samuel Womack in the 4th and 5th round. Like, good job, Adam Peters. Well done. I don't know what it is about those 4th and 5th rounders, man, but good job, Adam Peters. You did a good job. Very nice. Very, very nice. Really good work there. So ultimately, pretty happy about it. and pretty optimistic. I didn't see anything from the game that would make me not optimistic. So from people that conversations that I've had, it sounds like it's Adam Peters is the general manager. It feels like John Lynch is kind of face of the franchise, if that makes sense. Like he's kind of like the CEO type that's like face like the I don't know how else to explain it. Adam Peters is, from my understanding, is making a majority of the scouting and personnel moves. I really don't think John Lynch is too involved in the draft from like a decision making standpoint. I really think it comes down to Adam Peters and his group, and then obviously consulting with Kyle. But I think it is Adam Peters who is the guy that's out here making these calls. So Adam Peters does a really good job. And we really don't want to lose Adam Peters because he's been able to get some really, really solid draft picks. Yeah, 100%. We almost lost him. We almost lost D'Amico Ryan. It kind of feels like D'Amico Ryans, Adam Peters could be a little bit of a package combo for another team somewhere. I don't want to plant the seed too early in your guys' heads and get you too worried about it. But it does feel like Adam Peters and a D'Amico Ryans head coaching GM combo to another team could be in the future. We'll see. But we don't got to worry about that today. We're just getting the season started. We don't need to talk about what's going on at the end of the season. Just don't put that in there. But overall, man, yeah, seriously, give us all the comp picks. 100%. We'll take all the comp picks. But we don't want to lose Miko. Miko's a legend. He's a great defensive coordinator, and that would suck. But that could mean Chris Kosarek could be the D coordinator. I wouldn't be surprised by that. So we'll see. But overall takeaway from what we saw in training camp, how it translated into last night's game against the Packers is, again, optimism. Not everything's perfect. There's still some fine tuning to happen. But you can imagine when that offense led by Trey Lance is injected with George Kittle, Trent Williams, Kyle Juszczyk, Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, that is just going to be a completely different level of performance out of this offense that like you're going to be really excited about. When you guys get to see Brandon Ayuk out there, and you get to see Brandon Ayuk and the Trey Lance connection, kind of like you got excited about Trey Lance hitting Danny Gray. I don't feel like Trey Lance threw a whole lot to Danny Gray in training camp. I feel like it was a lot of Nate Sudfeld throwing to Danny Gray. But hey, it is what it is. But anyways, I think that's going to do it for the night. You guys already know we're going to have lots of content still coming. Still going to do a film breakdown episode. Gave you a little taste today of what the film looked like. But as you already know, we're going to do a full breakdown. I pulled the best plays that I think are worth talking about, and we go through and we break them down, why we break them down and why they matter. So we'll still do a film breakdown maybe tomorrow. Does a Sunday Fun Day film breakdown sound like some content that you would enjoy? If it is, give me a hell yeah in the chat. Just spam it. If you want to see a film breakdown on a Sunday, give me a hell yeah in the chat. Seems like a good time to me, because we got no 49ers. We got no 49ers football tomorrow, so why not make our own? We'll bring the film breakdown back tomorrow. Let's go. Love to see it. Look at the squad out here. We're ready to break down. It's football time, baby. It is football time. And we are getting the blood pumping all day. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hey, if you can't make it live, you already know you'll be able to catch it on the rebound. Peyton says Brad Graham content. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You love to see it. You smell that? What's that smell like? It smells like football content, baby. You love to see it. So again, shout out all the SDS, man. The energy going into this year feels pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it feels a lot different than last year. I'm not gonna lie. The energy going into this season feels I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels different going into this season. Again, we don't have this now. Jimmy's still on the roster. Whoa. Jimmy's still on the roster, but he's not on the roster. If that kind of makes sense. Like Jimmy is really an afterthought. It especially kind of feels like after this game, he wasn't on the sideline. He wasn't there. He wasn't a part of any of it. So it doesn't feel like you have that Jimmy G cloud hanging over this team or the Trey Lance cloud, which what it was last year, right? So the energy just feels better. Feels lighter. I feel lighter going into this year. So we'll see. That's still something that we need to figure out what's going to happen. But hey, trade day every day. Damn, Cynthia dropping the QB4. Woo! Hey, my guy said what's a Jimmy G? Oh boy. So you guys already know the vibes. Smash that like button on your way out because it is time to roll into the season and get things started on the right foot. Shout out to everyone who always tapping in with the channel. Shout out to all the homies in the chat. Appreciate it. I feel like I missed I just realized I feel like I missed a Justin super chat. I did. Damn it. Justin, I almost missed it. I don't know if he's still here. I almost missed it. It just like came to me as I was closing out that I completely missed the super chat, but let's ask it. Hopefully he's here still. Justin says, Brad, why didn't they let Mason score another touchdown? Feel like he would have went the distance if they didn't kneel. I really think like they were just trying to close the game out, right? They weren't trying to get hurt, but you saw how methodically they were moving down the field with just handing the ball off to Jordan Mason, right? Like they were moving the ball on the shoulders of Jordan Mason. So if they kept it going and they really wanted to score, I think it's going to happen. I think you would have scored for sure. I apologize. I clearly missed it, but it was funny. Like right as I was like closing out, it like popped into my head. I was like, "Oh I think Justin sent me a super chat." I totally didn't pull it up, but glad we got to it at the last second. I think Jordan Mason 100% would have scored if they didn't kneel down and get out of there and try to get out of there with an injury. Jordan, you saw, man, they were just churning out yards. Jordan Mason closed out that game. And he just do methodical. All that kind of good stuff. But glad I got to it on the way out, Justin. And again, shout out to everyone. Appreciate you guys as always. Smash the like button on the way out. Sub if you haven't already. Hit those noti bells. We're gonna have a lot more content coming to you. Appreciate you all. You have a great Saturday night. Enjoy your weekend. We'll probably have Sunday content tomorrow. Why not? All right, guys. I'm out of here.